there's all different ways kind of to skin a cat or to figure out how this works. And really, it's based on the specifics of your business, right? We need to more deeply understand what your role is in your business so we can figure out whether this Pereira analysis or this Van Camp analysis more specifically applies. And we'll involve a forensic expert to kind of help us make this determination. This expert can be a neutral expert that's appointed by both you and your ex. But if we're representing you and you're the business owner, we'll likely also decide to have a kind of consultant behind the scenes. If that makes sense for you financially and it's in your budget, it might benefit you to just kind of make sure that this neutral person is doing what they're supposed to do. Sometimes the court might actually appoint somebody to do the business evaluation. And if that's the case, then it would be a neutral person. So it just kind of depends how this plays out, right? But I want you to understand that if you're more of a solo operation, that this is a great opportunity to us to kind of fight more for more of this business to be your separate property. If you started this business before you got married, hopefully you had, some kind of appraisal done before you got married so we can say, hey, your business was already worth $2 million before you got married, and maybe you haven't added that many employees or built your business so much. So maybe that business is still your separate property, and we don't need to go through this whole shebang, right? We can just call it your separate property and maybe minimize your community property obligation to your ex. If you've really built it up and been hustling during your marriage, then that's a different story, right? There's probably a community property component. If you haven't gotten appraisal before you got married, because nobody does that, right? Why would you do that? That's okay. Let us help you and work with you. There are different ways we can kind of look back and see and make those determinations with the help of a financial expert.